Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where we're covering Superboy Issue 6 and the second story. Superboy Storekeep. Not Shopkeep. I keep wanting to say Shopkeep. It's Storekeep. This is a notable story because it introduces something that doesn't stay in Superman canon, and that is Jonathan, not named Jonathan quite yet, though he has been referred to as John in a previous story, was not so much a farmer, though I believe they do live on a farm. That's been a little inconsistent. But the guy who owned and ran the general store in Smallville. So they were more like shopkeepers than they were farmers. He didn't really have a lot of time to work the farm as the guy running the general store. He's not feeling well, hurt his ankle. Superboy has to fill in for him. So we have ourselves the title, Superboy Shopkeep. So how long does this comic actually follow the premise of Superboy working in this store? Well, not at all, really. I guess Clark works in the store for a little while, for at least 4 to 5 pages, to introduce what will be our plot, essentially. But the story is more like the mystery of the sardine can. There is a problem with Clark selling someone else's sardine can, as there's not many sardine cans available. So he sells it to somebody else, believing that it's no big deal. But when the man comes in looking for it, he is very angry. This is actually more of a classic Superman type story, one you would see more in the war, which we're well out of at this point. We are in the 50s, where it turns out they're stealing parts of a secret weapon, a sort of tank with a laser on it, and smuggling them out through sardine cans. It's all a large complication that just involves Superboy, well, saving the original guy who bought the sardine can, but going from one thing to the next, putting pieces together. Once again, Superman isn't a great character to investigate mysteries. It's not very compelling with his powers, just walk around, use his x-ray vision, and see something. You kind of need to get him a little more involved, maybe a little more creative with him solving these mysteries. But once he has it, he just kind of confronts the guys and captures them. And we've forgotten completely about the store. Who's been running the store? Like, there's so much fun you can have with the idea of Superboy running a store with his superpowers, especially if he's the only one running it. He could make it efficient, or more efficient than it was, by just himself. He could make home deliveries without really leaving the store for more than a second. And maybe some kids would understand having the job as a storekeep. At that time, there was probably more people who owned little general stores reading these comics than there is today. Or at least a sort of understanding of maybe kids working in a store like that. But no, it doesn't seem to be particularly all that interested in its original premise. Instead, going into what ends up being a banal, almost autopilot type superhero story, which they haven't been telling in like 5 years. That is it from Superboy Issue 6. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Friday is Bat Friday. We cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. He's probably never going to be a storekeep in that story, though it would be fascinating. And until next time, let's ponder the question, whatever did happen to the boy of tomorrow? And I wonder how long the general store is going to be canon in Superboy. It is still around where I'm currently reading. The general store does get brought up. Okay, have a great day.